Hey, what up, Alex? How are you?
Doing all right. First time on a podcast. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, no pressure. This is a low-key podcast. It's just us chatting.
No pressure. Obs is super easy.
Uh, well, reason I have you on is because you're a deeply technical guy who understands everything about MCP.
Yeah, that's exactly me. I am the dev. I'm moonlighting as a customer success manager, but in reality, I'm a dev.
Yeah, I'm joking. Yeah, but like we need that non-technical perspective on this whole thing because we just launched the MCPs and the CLIs and all the dev stuff, right? But
hmm
in this day and age, it is for normal people as well. Um, so yeah. What do you
Yeah. So when it comes to the CLI and the MCP that we're launching and all that cool stuff, from a non-technical perspective, like me, someone who's not a developer at all, it's actually been like crazy. Like I tested out the CLI for templates recently, and it was just like mind-blowing to me because I was able to literally just pull in all the templates, tell Claude, "Yo, I want to add this on this page." Claude was able to like read those templates and just add it in for me, and it actually looked like really good. Like it was so easy for a non-technical person, and I feel like that this is a game changer for like people making customizations on their own. They don't need a dev anymore. They just pull in the stuff into Cloud Code and just get whatever they need done.
it's a game changer if they want to like mess up their whole thing, in
Mm.
one fell swoop, you know.
I mean, for
So
good
this
news, we do have a backup though. Like there's a reset button, so if that happens, you're taken care of.
Yeah. So, but then, like, another thing that non-devs have to do now is use GitHub because all the Claude skills are on GitHub, and yeah, you want to like back up your Claude directory to GitHub maybe. So then, like, if you're pulling these templates, you should, I guess, like put them in GitHub. You do have GitHub now as well, right?
Yeah. I had to set it up because we needed to test a couple of stuff internally, like for QA purposes. I set it up. And then from there, I kind of like expanded and I pushed my Claude setup from one device to the cloud and then to GitHub, sorry. And then I pulled it from another device. It's actually relatively simple to use when you have Claude telling you exactly what to do. Like you don't need to be tech savvy, you don't need to be like a developer. Just be like, yo, Claude, what do I do? And Claude's like, okay, so you need to push this, pull that, and then you're good to go.
Push all your like private stuff in a public repository. Okay.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So this has been awesome. We've been using the MCP, right? Because we have our own like a more extended version to help with the tickets as well. And it's been helpful to just say, okay, like check this ticket, give me a summary, what's going on, um, and then man, I want to set up the open claw as well so that we have a bot checking tickets like every minute, maybe have it check. Is there anything like super important that we're missing? Something like that.
Mm. It would be really useful to get like to have a check and then push notifications to you if there's like something actually urgent needs to be looked into like right now. Definitely. But on the MCP point, I feel like that's also been a game changer for us internally. I'm sure it's gonna be super useful for like reports and stuff for our clients, and then like quickly looking at tickets to themselves see if something's urgent or orders and like people have an urgent request or something like that. But it's also very powerful for us internally. It's helped up my efficiency substantially because I could just be like, yo, look at the logs. So for someone who can't read these logs because I'm not tech savvy. Claude will be just go in, look at all the webhook records and all the logs that are there on Stripe and like connect things for me. And it's super nice. It's super easy to debug something now to find where an issue is.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Man, it's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. Like, so now people are saying that like the guy who created OpenClaw, right? He's saying, oh, MCPs, thing of the past, you gotta do CLIs now. And then I'm thinking, yeah, maybe. But then, like, I imagine typical users are gonna use the like Claude app, not the terminal Claude, or ChatGPT or whatever. So just
hmm
like having a normal MCP where you paste the URL and say, okay, I want to use this MCP, and it does the authentication. You just have to click accept, and everything is like automatic. That's so cool.
100%. I think it's definitely easier than a CLI from a, again, non-tech savvy perspective. Not non-tech savvy, but non-developer perspective. I am tech savvy. I'm just not a coding savvy person. The CLI was a little bit of a challenge for me to get into because, again, it looked like it's literally in terminal, right? Because I'm using it on a Mac device. So I literally have to go in and be like a hacker guy, like typing in like do this, do that, and it's like I feel like I'm hacking the mainframe. But once that's set up and once it's ready, it's just done. Like you're just good to go. Like it's just a one-time setup.
Brother, I just realized maybe we should have like gone a little bit into what is MCP or CLI, because like we're using these letters, assuming that everyone is as AI pilled as we are. How should we explain it? MCP is like a API, but you don't need to code to use it. You just ask Claude, connect to this. 'Cause I've been using like Meta Ads MCP. I'm saying like connect to Meta Ads, give me like the latest reports, what's going good, what's going bad, what campaigns we should pause, or should we do variations on this? And now you can do the same with your Wayfront account and be like, well, are there any like problematic clients, or do I need to step in and help a team member here? So, and then the other thing is, unlike just, we could make a report which shows some graph, but you don't want reports, you want insights. So you could like skip the whole graphs thing and just ask it for insights.
Yeah, you just get to like the direct outcome that you actually need instead of having to look at these reports and then like analyzing them. It's just, yo, what's happening, you know? And it just gives you a quick summary. It's just so time efficient. That's really the word, time efficient.
Yeah. Yeah, and so a CLI is like this thing that you run in your terminal that in the past only developers wouldn't have used. And now template developers can use it, but also people using Claude Code can use it. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I never opened terminal on my laptop. I've been around Wavefront for 5 years. It's like maybe I've done it once to connect to some database at some point. But like now it's daily. Like I'm every day I'm on terminal. I almost don't close it. It has to be always open doing something in the background.
what else has been going on? What else is anything?
I mean, there's like a I think we wanted to also talk about having to get someone for socials. We were discussing that earlier in the week, and we were talking about how it would be really cool to have like OpenClaw handle all that, like the socials, but I don't really think that it would work, man. Uh, I don't feel like it's there yet. What do you think?
Yeah, all the AI replies or content has a certain smell to it, which is like highly bad. Like not
Uh,
good at all. Like you can see through it, and it's just it comes across wrong. But no, maybe like it's almost the same as on LinkedIn. You see the posts that follow this certain pattern that get like 1 billion impressions because they're all kind of following the playbook.
mm-hmm.
So it's almost a situation of like, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know, this is how the social game is played. You have to like do the pattern. You have to do the pattern interrupt, the hook, all this
Mm.
to like qualify to be in the arena. Like if you're trying to do your own thing, you know, maybe it doesn't work.
Mm-mm. But yeah, I feel like the pattern needs to be grabbed and then you can get creative with it. Like I don't feel like having a fully autonomous like posting thing is gonna work because you can, as you said, you can read through it, you can see through it. Maybe in like 6 to 12 months when things get like a lot more interesting. I know that there are a bunch of skills that you can like set up so that it does socials better, but still you can still, as you said, like there's a feeling, there's a taste, there's a smell. It's always there.
It's like a sense of danger in your brain where it's some kind of subconscious thing. Like you don't know why, but like this guy seems sus. Like I
Mm.
do not trust this post, you know.
Like every day at 2:12 p.m. he's posting. How consistent, you know?
This is all the like founders I know that they do not post. They're like living their best life, and now all of a sudden they start posting this
Mm.
engagement bait with like enticing pictures and hooks. I'm like, oh, they must have hired an agency or something.
Or OpenClaw, your new agency, for the low price of a Mac Mini.
Yeah, well, no, it's a difficult time for agencies for sure because you can sort of outsource the steps. Like the steps are now like the actual tasks are now much easier, but
Mm.
then you don't get the expertise anyway. So yeah, if I'm not like an SEO genius, I could grab all the data from all the tools, yeah, aggregate them, analyze everything. But then what do I do with it? Ask Claude, and it's gonna give me the same answer that it gives to every other person, you know.
Mm. There's a certain genericness to anything you're gonna get because it's an AI. So if someone else asks it the exact same question, it's gonna get the same exact answer.
Yeah, like our website, where we went the opposite of what all the AI generated websites look. Yeah.
Yeah, the website is quite unique. I really like the direction that we went with. It feels like it's very different to everything that you're looking at. Like there's a certain I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but there's a certain vibe. Like every time you open a website now, they all have that same design language. It's like everyone's speaking English, you know, like it's the same, even if it's different accents from everywhere, but it's the same thing at the base. But I feel like we went very different with our design, and I really, really do like it. I like the new colors. I like the new style that we have. It's quite nice.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to have good merch with all the Wayfront stuff. Oh, there's so many opportunities because like the design that we have now is it is Claude, a lot of it, but the design system and the inspiration images and all that was all done by an actual designer. Then AIs can take that like structure and expand on it. But if you ask them to create something from scratch, it's going to look like Tailwind, you know,
Hmm.
like all the other Tailwind templates.
It looked pretty terrible. I remember when we were like working on designing different things, I would have like an image in my mind that I couldn't explain to you because I'm not a designer, so I don't know how to explain these things. So I would like go into Claude, be like, create this for me so I can show my team, and it would make some random stuff that has nothing to do with what I'm saying, and it just looks terrible. Like designing things, it is not that great at. But if you give it like a language to follow or like some instructions that are super clear, then it might be able to actually produce something that you could use, even if you just need to improve it a bit.
And the other thing is, we have this design system. It's all like very laid out. You must use these shadows. You must use these colors. You should not round the borders more than this, you know, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Still, it doesn't follow. It's lazy. It ignores the instructions. So you have to go into a cycle and be like, okay, now recheck again, go into it again, double check your work, triple check your work, start a new session, quadruple check your work.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I think this term is crazy. I've heard you say this over the past few months a couple of times where you're saying that AI, like Claude, is being lazy. And I find that insane because the entire objective of using AI is that it cannot be lazy. There is no like limitation to the productivity, right? But then you find it skipping these things. And it happens to me frequently as well. Like when I'm telling it to, for example, I use Claude sometimes to make illustration images because I make all the videos on our channel. So I use it to generate some stuff. And it just ignores what you're saying sometimes. It's pretty crazy. Like you have all these instructions. Like I'm telling you verbatim, do X. Why are you doing Z? Like what's happening?
I think it's I think it's related to I think it's like AIs are very creative. So sort of like creative people, they're difficult to put in an SLP. They want to do their own thing. They want to be creative, you know.
Bruh.
But
This
it's
is all it
fun.
knows. That makes sense.
So you have to like lock them in, bring them into like a system where like you do this step creatively, and then when it comes time to do the next step, it's not that you ask it to do the next step. It's that the system, like an external system that like, what is the word? Programmatic, or I don't know, like some kind of if else statement is there that is always executed. If this passes, then you get to go to the next step. But if you just say, oh, if this it qualifies, it'll just what it wants.
Yeah, makes sense. Ooh, speaking of AI, I wanted to mention another feature that we just like pushed recently that we were able to do with the help of AI. Languages. We now have languages on Wayfront. You could just go and enable languages and just use them. And this has been a pain point in the past, which has now been just very easily resolved because we just had Claude do it, man. Like translate everything to German, and now we have German on the portal.
It's probably not accurate, but if you're an actual German user, you can still edit each line if you want. But I just noticed it today. I log into the client side to test something, and I see the globe icon, and I'm like, what is that? And then I realized I have 6 languages that I did not set up. And now I'm thinking, I wonder if we should hide that by default, actually. Because, I don't think everybody wants all the languages.
It would make sense to maybe have it be toggleable. Like you go in and you turn them on, whichever language you want, and then you can edit. Look, the idea is that it's better than having to set it up from scratch. Because in the past, you used to have to go in, do new language, write German, and then translate every single string, which was not super ideal, but it was the best that we were able to do. Now at least it gives you so you're proofreading instead of having to set it up. You're just double checking that everything makes sense real quick, and then that's it. It's a much faster process.
And I think back in the day, originally, the idea was not even to use it for translation. I think we didn't even have the ability to switch the languages. It was just oh, so you want the help text to say something else, to be more friendly or more corporate, whatever you want. You can change the text easily, change the copy without having to go into code.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense. That is something that people still use until today. I feel like most features that we have are actually this way, right? They start off being something and then they end up evolving into something else. Another example that I'm thinking of is the client teams feature. It used to be just you're able to go in, add people into your team, and that's it. But now when somebody adds team members, it creates a company, and then you have this company that you can even manage on the admin side. So it feels like all these features end up being a request. Someone's asking for X, but then X expands into this huge feature over time.
Yeah, that's true. And the other thing is, I was talking to somebody and they said, yeah, I see you shipping all this stuff, but why? It's not relevant to me. Okay, well, yeah, literally none of the features that we ship, we come up with ourselves. It's people wanting this stuff, somebody's
Exactly.
asking for it.
Yeah, 100% of the features that we have that we work on, somebody asked for. And we usually, I mean, me being the one that interacts with clients a lot of the time, I usually tally things. So when a lot of people are asking for X, then I kind of push for it to be added, even if it's a little bit more difficult. I fight for you guys. Remember that. I'm the friend. But yeah, this is how we get these features added. We don't sit and we're like, what features are we going to build today? No, we have this to-do list, right? We have things that people are asking for.
Yeah, I think we're pretty decent. Obviously, there have been some things people have been wanting that we just haven't been able to add, but just because of the sheer complexity, it's almost like that with tasks, where we knew that we would add tasks and it would create this whole storm of other things we need around it. And it was true. Because to add a simple checkbox, simple enough, you add a checkbox, we have it, everybody's happy. No, they see that you have it, so they need all the features, which is understandable, right? So to do it is one thing, to do it properly is a whole nother thing. But yeah.
I mean, from a client perspective, it does kind of make sense. When I say client, I mean our client, because you see something and you're like, dude, this would be so much more useful if I can add a deadline to each task. So let me tell them. So you tell us, and then we add the deadline. Then someone else says it would be so cool if we can assign this to a client. And then we're like, okay, so you can do that. Assign it to a client. No, someone before that asked for visibility so the client can see what step we're on. So we add that. And then someone was like, why can't we assign it to clients? So we add that. And then every time you add something, it just keeps spiraling into more and more. Because from the client perspective, again, it looks like it's super simple, but all of these require a deeper level. And again, maybe just not being a developer, just seeing you guys work on this, it requires a lot of work on the back end to make sure these things work correctly. Like it's not a simple thing. And I QA things all the time, and there are issues all the time. So it's definitely not easy. If it was easy, any feature you ask for would just be like, sure, and we just add it in.
Yeah, it's all the like edge cases that are difficult to replicate. If this task is followed by this other task, but this one didn't have a relative deadline. So it's like all this stuff you got to think about. But I feel like, especially for testing, man, so with AIs, like we can like create all kinds of tests. So I feel like the application quality is getting better as well, just because we have so much more test coverage. Yeah.
For sure, yeah. I mean, recently, I feel like when I'm testing things, it's less issues than it used to be in the past because I feel like you're running some kind of test with AI and it just fixes these issues before I get to QA them. And I feel like I'm the last step. So I QA things before they get pushed live. And yeah, it's definitely less issues than it used to be, actually, now that you're saying it. I never thought about it, but it is more stable recently for sure.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So it makes like QA easier, and then we can focus more on, does it actually make sense, as like a whole concept, does this idea make sense? Because like we started, we get to the QA, and then we're like, but actually none of this makes sense, so it's like scrap. I can tell you about the goddamn upsell feature we have.
Oh man.
Then we QA like 3 times already, and then realize like something's off, like we cannot ship it.
Yeah, I think there was some kind of limitation. So some things, just like from an insider perspective for whoever's listening, some things just have like a limitation that you cannot surpass because of the way that the code is. And it just makes it not possible to add things sometimes. And like we try, like the upsell feature that Chris was just talking about, we tried to make it work. It didn't make sense. So we had to scrap it. And it was built. Like the feature was almost there. It was ready. Like it was working. It just had some kind of limitation. I can't remember what it was right now though.
To be fair, it's not like fully scrapped. We gotta like get back into it, check what was the limitation. Because you can work around all of the things. It's more of a, maybe like it was the wrong design choice. I don't remember exactly.
I think there was some kind of issue with subscriptions for that one. Like it was difficult. Or I think you also solved that actually, now that I'm remembering.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so if you have a subscription, you buy an upsell, and that is an add-on to the subscription, it has to be measured. It's like, we could go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. It's not easy. Just any feature that needs to be added and needs to be accounted for from every perspective, and that's not a simple task to do from a developing standpoint.
And the other thing is, anything we add, we can no longer take away.
So we find out later on that it's causing more trouble than good, but then you have Bob is using it, so you can't remove it, like it's tough.
I think, yeah, all of this, we're gonna ship more stuff for sure. Back to the social discussion. I guess we're
Mm.
looking for somebody to help us with this. I just haven't put together any kind of job ad or anything. But,
I think we need to wait for things to settle a bit, right? After the rebrand, because we're still Google is still Googling us. We're not done yet with that. Um, so once that I feel like the dust needs to settle first before we start figuring out exactly what type of person we need, no?
yeah, for sure, for sure. Although now we're doing all kinds of things. It's been a long time for the rebrand. It took a lot of work, and I think I even so each month we have the required one of my goals each month is to send a product update email. I
Mm.
think I may have missed February because I was sending the announcement emails for the rebrand, and yeah, yesterday I clicked send on the product update, first product update at Wayfront, and that took a while.
How do you feel about it though? Because like it's been a long time coming with the rebrand. It must have felt nice finally we have this new website, new name, everything's spicy. Here's your first product update, guys.
Yeah, it was good, and it's a great update because there's a lot of like good stuff. Um, and we have even more stuff in the pipeline. Wish I could like review it all. And
No, there's no way. We need to having everything go out at once is not possible because we need time to polish things, right? And then like QA them and make sure that they're good to go. And it's good to take our time. I feel like with features especially, and I always say this, this has been my statement always, is just wait until it's perfect and then push it. Because then when you give someone something, they get like the best version that they can have.
so many of our problems also sort of fix themselves, as in like we probably had like so many different kind of reports on the wish list for the things we could do, and now none of that is relevant. If you want
Mhm.
reports, just connect to MCP and ask for whatever you need. It has all the data. You know,
Do we know when that's going live? The all workspace MCP? Do you have any idea, or is it not ready yet?
oh, it went live this week. It's live already. I sent it in the email.
Oh, really? So now anyone can just log in into any workspace and just connect the MCP to their workspace and just start asking it stuff?
Yes, but pro plan only.
Makes sense. Probably not simple to have this kind of access. So yeah, makes sense for it to be on Pro. I didn't even know. I've been using ours internally. I thought it was just like the internal one that we were like using for now, but no, that's really cool.
The email is going out slowly because we have a new domain, obviously, so the reputation is
Mm.
sketchy still. So the email that I triggered yesterday is going to probably send for a few days. I put a conservative hourly rate on it.
Makes sense, yeah. If you start pushing too many emails, you're gonna get flagged, and we don't want that with our nice, clean, shiny domain.
Speaking of email, that's another like interesting thing we could talk about. So we were on Mailgun for years, for a long time.
Oh yes, my favorite.
Yeah. And they got acquired by PE and probably like, never shipped any updates. And then one of our uh, one of our customers, clients had some sort of a message that had a DHL mentioned in it. So I was like in some kind of like legitimate client context, right? And Mailgun just goes ahead and like locks down our account. I'm like, what? And so it took them like a good 24 hours to fix it.
On a weekend, by the way, on a weekend.
Yeah, their account blocking script runs on weekends apparently. So when there's less usage and there's nobody to help unlock the accounts. So ever since that happened last year, we migrated everyone to AWS with like custom sending IPs, and so it was just a change for the better, I guess.
100%. It was difficult to move everybody, and it was difficult to convince people to move their custom sending emails. Like, we had a notification on the portal for like 3 months, if not longer. And somehow, when we disabled Mailgun finally after 3 months, people were still emailing us, like, excuse me, it's not working. And I'm like, there was a notification on your screen the whole time. But yeah, somehow they managed to have very horrible UI, these email homies, but with Amazon, AWS, CLI. Who cares? Now we have CLI. We can just ask it. Yo, why is this happening? Remove someone from the bounce list and we're good to go.
Yeah. Oh, that's been great because the AWS UI also terrible, but now you don't have to interact with it.
Even worse than Mailgun somehow. And I thought that was impossible. Their UI, bro. Maybe it's really difficult, and maybe we're just being unfair because there's so much information in these services, and like we're just like from a client perspective, we're like, dude, like this is difficult to use, but maybe it just has to be that way.
You know what? I'm 99% sure people think the same thing about our app, which is
Could
great.
be.
Now you can skip the UI and use the MCP. So the MCP
And
is read only right now, so it's safe to use. But I'm sure we'll expand it with like right actions and forms, so you can create forms and stuff like that from the.
Hmm.
It's a good base to expand on.
I mean, again, we were discussing this yesterday. I don't know how I feel about the right features currently with AI. I feel like they have, like, if you give them right capabilities, they would have too much power, and they're not smart enough yet to give them this much power. Maybe again, in like a few months, you would be safe if it gets like smarter. But I don't know, man. But to be fair, I am the skeptic when it comes to AI. In the beginning, I was like, dude, I can't stand AI. I don't want to use AI. That's terrible. And then here I am now. AI day to day in my workflow, like it made my job a lot. It made me a lot more efficient. That's the word. I feel like me and AI together is capable of so much more output than me alone.
For sure, yeah. Same for me. Yeah, I don't know about right access because like these LLMs can sometimes be like, what was the catchphrase? My bad. You're right to push back on that. I messed up. I did delete all your shit.
I nuked your PC. Congrats.
But it apologizes, but like, who's gonna bring the data back? You know?
This is what I was saying. Like, man, like, yeah, you give it right access, it starts charging your customers. Oh, my bad, I didn't mean to do that. But like, now I have to issue refunds.
Yeah, that's true. No, we're all kind of on the frontier of this like whole unknown thing. It's the same as for like agencies.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting times for us as well. Like nobody knows what's happening. Anybody who says they know, they're lying.
Yeah, it's been really interesting with agencies as well because all this AI stuff has done one of two things for agencies, right? It's either nuke them, like some agencies are now just very difficult to continue existing. And a lot of new agencies have been born because of AI. They're able to do work in such an efficient manner. And we're seeing some of them like sign up, right? Because they need a platform to deliver the deliverables that they're delivering. Even if they're using AI, you still need a platform. So it's been very interesting for sure.
I do wonder what direction the market goes, because could we see like a big reversal of so back in the day, like do you know Mad Men, the TV series, right?
Mhm.
So they had like this Don Draper. He's like the big guy. He knows everything. Everybody trusts him because he's like the personality. And then it went sort of like, oh, I'm just gonna sell it to you a backlink package for 5K. Don't worry about it. Just buy it. So, and now we might be going back into the other direction, right? Because like clients want to work with like people with some kind of reputation for doing good work
Mm.
and stuff like that. They're less likely to trust a guy on a forum selling whatever, you know.
I feel like, I mean, to add to that, I feel like in some situations, for agencies, it makes sense to use AI. Like if you're optimizing your workflow, if you're eliminating steps that used to be manual, it makes sense. But I feel like customers and clients are gonna want to work with people who are using people, not AI, for their, especially for content and stuff like that. It, I feel like it'd be not as easy for AI to overtake things in that aspect. Still possible, but not very simple. I mean, at least that's my perspective.
I wonder that you're probably right, but it just depends on the price. Yeah.
Mm.
Because like for example, for support, everybody's hating on AI support and chatbots and stuff like that. But if you can get help right now, immediately, like right this second, even if it's like 70% of the human answer, maybe that's good enough for like being so quick. And so maybe for pricing wise, it's kind of the same. If it's like really cheap, really affordable, and you just buy it, and who cares? Maybe the whole service delivery is like fully automated with like clog bots. I don't know. They don't even have to know, you know?
I think there's like a balance for this. Like now I'm seeing a lot of these chatbots that you can talk to, and then if you feel like it's not giving you the answer that you're looking for, you just be like chat with a person, and then either it's live chat or they send it as an email, and then you get a reply later. I feel like that's an okay approach. But me personally, again, this is just a me thing. I hate chatbots with every fiber of my being because I feel like the only reason for me to reach out to a chatbot is because I have an condition situation that I couldn't find in the help docs. Because I look through the help docs when I have an issue, right? So I couldn't find the fix, and the chatbot is trained on the help docs, so he can't help me either. You know?
Yes, you're right.
But I feel like for us, like internally, I think we're approaching AI in a very smart way, and in the sense that we're waiting for something to make sense before we implement it, and we're not just adding AI just to say, "Yo, we have AI features." Like, here you go on the feature list, we have AI. Like, no, the things that we're adding are actually useful.
This MCP thing for sure. Especially, you know what came to my mind as well is that thinking how to gather all our marketing data like like a hub with MCP access to all this stuff. And for agencies as well, if you can correlate your like traffic data with your payments, with your subscriptions, with projects, maybe like you can extract insights from all of this. Because if we just make like we still have that inline chatbot right in the app where you could ask it some stuff to like summarize this conversation, for example,
Mm,
which is fine, but then it doesn't have all the context. Whereas if it runs locally, you can pipe in all kinds of resources and give it all the context.
yeah, I mean, comparatively, from my experience using the CLI that we have, like the MCP, sorry, wait, I'm getting confused between them. The one in Cloud Code, which one's that? Is that MCP? That is MCP, right? That MCP.
Yeah,
See, I'm telling you guys, I'm not developer savvy, right? So the MCP, from using the MCP, comparing that to the in-app client that you can talk to, the MCP is miles better. It's like it's so useful compared to the one in the one in the app is more like, yo, help me set up this form. Like, how do I do this? What do I do with this? It's more of like that chatbot that I was talking about earlier, where you can ask it direct questions. It can help you. It can summarize a conversation if you have a large ticket that you don't want to go through like 50 messages. So it is helpful with that kind of stuff. But the MCP is so powerful. Like, these are such useful tools to make your work just more efficient.
all right, very, very cool. I feel like we should stop pitching our stuff, but and wrap this up. But I think so. We covered our new stuff, everything and anything AI related that came to our mind. I'm sure in a
Mm.
couple weeks we'll have other news. You know,
Yeah, I feel like it was very AI heavy for sure. But hey, man, this is what we have right now, and this is what's going on with us. So if we're gonna do a podcast, we're gonna talk about what's going on with us, and currently it's just AI. AI is very prominent right now.
for better or for worse, it is. All right. Well, let's call it a day. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Peace.